Okay, so this is just sort of like a intermediary quick video about the Evo. We're going through and doing some quality of life and reliability upgrades. So far we've done the first oil change since my ownership, the HKS single exit exhaust. We've gotten some floor mats in there. We've changed out the shifter and all the bushings. It just kind of made sense. I didn't even necessarily want the shifter, but I wanted all of the bushings, and when you put it all together, the shifter was essentially free. So we did that. We've got the clutch fork stop is installed, and so that's good to go, and it has dramatically tightened up the shifting. I'm not sure if I like it. I think it's going to be something that I have to get used to, but yeah, that's done. A couple of things that we've got left on the list is we've got our AFR wideband, we've got our boost gauge, those need to get plumbed in. We've got a transmission mount that we're switching to from, I think it's Torque Solution, so it's a poly mount. Yeah, so as far as the quality of life stuff, like specifically to what I'm working on today, is we are swapping out all of the door speakers, so there's 4 of them, on the car. So there's, what's actually kind of interesting about it is that Mitsubishi used these very interesting sort of like triangle mounting connections. So they're not using traditional screws or anything like that. So what I'm doing is I'm actually harvesting speakers for their components, which is something that I actually read about on the Evolution forums, and I think there's just a lot of people in Mitsubishi and maybe even Honda that are doing it because the mounting type is very weird. So, but I wasn't able to find anything very specific on how to, so I sort of just made it up, and that's where we're going. It's working out really well. I will show you essentially what this process looks like. We're just going to do one door. I'm doing all of the doors, but for the sake of the video and the length of the video, I'm going to just go ahead and do one door, top to bottom. So we're going to pull the door panel off. We're going to pull the speaker out. We're going to harvest the piece that I'm going to need from it. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and mount the replacement speaker in, and yeah, I think, and then we'll go ahead and put the door card back on, and it'll kind of give you an idea as to what this process looks like. This is not me saying do this process. This is me saying that if you can't get your hands on one of the Metra or the Scotia adapters, this works. If it's something that you need to do right now, this works. And I think it'll hold up forever. I think there's obviously a cleaner way to do it with the Scotia and Metra adapters. I just physically can't get my hands on one. It's been like 11 days now, and I can't get access to one. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. Let's go through the process, and you can see what that looks like. All right, so Heidi, if you'll follow me. Okay, if you'll come around. So I'm going to go ahead and sit here on my trim that is apparently coming out. What isn't coming apart on this car? That's why we're doing half of this stuff. The Mitsubishi Evo 10 has 3 screws that need to, let's go ahead and turn that off. 3 screws that need to come out in order to pull the door card off. And then on the driver's side, or not the driver's side, but on the front side, there are 10 clips. It looks like that these clips you can get off by just simply lifting the door card up. But I found that I was never successfully able to do that, and so I'm simply just pulling the push clips out and I'm pressing them back in when we're done. So first screw is this guy right here. Go ahead and pull that. The next 2 are actually under covers. One is in the door handle. We're just going to take our little razor blade as a pick and pry that out. And go ahead and drop that there. While I don't even think I'm going to need a pick for this one. Nope. While I am doing this, I've got a joke for you guys. What do factory stock Lancer Evos, 350 wheel horsepower Evos, 500 plus wheel horsepower Evos, and 700 plus wheel horsepower Evos all have in common. Every fucking thing in the interior rattles. That's what they all have in common. And so I have found that on this particular car, 3 of the speakers are just done, like donezo done. Just bad. This driver, the passenger side front one was, we go ahead and pull this straight off. We just start at the top, there's a little press insert, and then angle and pull straight up. There's 2 clips there, don't pull straight out, you'll break them off. So start at the top, pull it out, angle, and pull out. Anyway, what I found is that, go ahead and back up. What I found is that the passenger side front speaker was just tattered. They're made out of paper. The material that's in it is just really, well, at this point, this is a 2014, so it's 9 years old. And when you think about it, this car, what is it? It released in 2008. So, yeah, these cars are 16 years old at this point, and with paper speakers, it's not good. So again, the front passenger, the paper was shredded. I did the rear driver. That one, the cone had separated from the frame, and I haven't gotten to the rear passenger one yet, but that one's awful sounding as well. So anyway, let's get back into it. We're going to go ahead and start at the bottom. I said there is a way to just lift, and I'll show you what that looks like, how that would hypothetically work. But okay, we're just going to follow up and around. I said there's 10 of them. We removed a bunch just in that first pull just now. Gentle, don't rip these off. Okay, that should be most of them. And now what we're gonna do, and this part, what we're gonna do next is probably actually going to remove a few of these from the top, or it'll just pull outward, I don't know. We're gonna try to lift up. There we go. We've lifted up, and it looks like that from lifting up, we got 1, 2 that are still in the body, and that's it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and push in and release the clips, the electrical clips. They're gonna vary door by door. I'm not sure, I'm just doing this by feel, where that one's at. Alright, we got that one out. We could remove these, but we're not. We're just going to go ahead and gently set it down. Now, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the speaker wire. And as mentioned, these are not screwed in. They just do a little rotate sort of thing in a triangle pattern, 3 mount points. And I said we're going to go ahead and harvest this piece so that we can use aftermarket. Let's see how bad that is. If you look in here, you can see it's all separated. The cone is just, that one's not as bad as the others. That's why this one didn't rattle as bad. But it's on its way out. So the others, you can actually see cracks in it. So the others were just toast. Okay, so we're going to go over here. We're going to grab our handy dandy Dremel. And if you'll bring it in, Heidi. See all of these points that hold the speaker to this round circular frame? We want the round circular frame because that is what we're using to mount. So what we're going to do is go ahead and trim off the speaker because, again, we want the round frame. I'm using a Dremel. Definitely wear eye protection when you're using a Dremel. And the rest of these are actually going to be two-side. So we're going to have to come in here. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and destroy the speaker at this point. I said this one was in way better shape than the rest of them, but just barely. Yeah, that was ready to separate any day now. Alright. Painful to watch, I know. Alright. Let's go ahead and we're actually just going to get rid of this. You may want to, and I'm actually going to talk you through something that we're not going to show on camera, just because I don't have any more materials. Come on. Okay. So, we have to then go around and do the tops for these wider sections. My Dremel won't go through in one pass. I swear, anytime that we decide to film, traffic goes, oh, I have an idea, let's go past their house. Joke's on them, I don't have a whole lot of talking to do. Honestly, you could cut through most of this stuff. We really just want, essentially, the ring. Alright, are we able to break through that? Almost. A little bit more cutting. But it seems like my battery's dying. I thought it would be a good idea to have the cordless Dremel. It was not. It's handy, but it stalls, it just shuts off, it's... I don't know. Yeah, it's just stopping now. That's okay, come on, just make it a little bit further through. Alright, I think we got it. Okay, cool. We're gonna go ahead and cut these off real quick. Alright, we're done with the Dremel for this piece. Let's go ahead and pull all of this just rough plastic off, deburring it essentially. We just don't want plastic floating around because it's just going to further promote more rattles later on down the road on the interior of the Evo. So while we're at it, let's just go ahead and clean it up. Got all these plastics all over my driveway. This is me contributing to the microplastic problem, I guess. Are these even considered microplastics? Or are these macroplastics? I don't know. Okay. So, we're good with the ring now, but I want to point out something. So you'll notice that we've got this little thin separator, this divider in here. On that side, so this pin, if you're looking at it this way so that the clips are facing you, the one on the left is the negative. You'll notice that on the door harness, that one is the green wire. I've noticed that the common ground on the Mitsubishis tend to be the green wire. So with that in mind, if you were taking your negative leads and you had, let's say, like sort of like a pigtail harness where you could clip on to your speakers. Well, that's not a good example. We'll use this one. Let's go ahead and open it up real quick. Okay, let's say you had a pigtail to connect to these pins. You would take your negative on the one that is on the left side if the clips are facing you. So this is closer to you on that side of the ring than farther away. The one on the left side right there would be your negative. And so what you would do is you would simply just take your pigtail, connect it to here, and then solder them in, and you would be able to use the door harness. So what's funny is the kickers actually came with pigtails, and I was able to work on that. However, the Infinities did not come with pigtails, and so I am going to have to simply solder and press into the door harness, and we'll just do it that way and it'll be just fine. So let's get started on that part. I may not even do a solder and harness. What I think I'm going to do is we'll take some of our spare speaker wire that we've got right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go ahead and cut off a section of wire like so, and we'll come back down here and we're going to go ahead and just create ourselves a little bit of lead, split lead to work with. As I said, we're going to go ahead and press this into the harness. Okay. That's like way up in my face. I'm not complaining, it's funny. What are we at on time? 5. We're at 5 minutes? It was at 3 minutes before we started. 20 minutes and 46 seconds. Not much longer, guys. We're almost done. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to go ahead and let's come over to the solder station, I guess. We don't actually need to film this. We're going to go ahead and we'll cut from here. But what we're going to do is we're going to solder to our connection points, and then we'll connect to the door harness. We'll pick back up there in just a moment. Okay, so we've got it soldered now. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and mount this speaker. This is a 6.5-inch speaker. This kicker over here is a 6 3/4. They will both work. So what we're going to do is go ahead and find, if you look at the ring, you'll see that obviously we have screws that are mount points for the frame of the speaker. However, what we're going to want to do is line up those screws so that there is something for the screws to physically bite into. This wall here is actually like there's an inner and outer wall under the foam. So what we're doing is we're actually finding something, a screw that can bite through to something, because in between here is hollow. So again, this isn't. The screw will come through and lock onto this. Don't overdo it, because if you strip it out, then the screw isn't holding on anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and line that one up. We've got one there. We got another one there. We should... Let me triple check that. Yeah, we're going to be good. So let's go ahead and get started with screw number 1. And let's keep this padding. We're leaving the padding there because we're actually using it as a buffer plate between the the frame of the speaker that we're installing and the actual mount that we are harvesting. So we're going to go ahead and screw that in. We could actually do this a lot more pleasantly than just on my lap, but here we are. I'm going to drill straight into my finger. Be very careful here. I should actually just pre-drill this hole into the frame. There we go. We got one. And so you can see, we'll go ahead and stop there. So you can see what that looks like. It's coming through the sidewall there like that, because again, this is hollow. The screw will just pass through and bite nothing. So we're actually going off of that guy right there. We'll go ahead and get this one set up. Like I said, don't overdo it. You don't want to strip it. Alright, 2, more than sufficient for what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and call it there. And now what we're going to do is come back over to the door. I'm not going to cut into the harness. I'm not going to fuck with the alligator clips or vampire clips or anything like that. So I'm looking at how much space I need to get in there. And that gives me an idea. So I'm going to go ahead and press fit that in. So bear with me. Take this oversized safety pin and we'll do it that way. So let's go ahead and open the door, move the door card so I can physically fit in here. And we'll go ahead and just mount the speaker now. It ideally mounts in that orientation. Pull our wire through. Okay. Come on, speaker, move out of the way. Alright, it's now locked in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy. Actually, we're going to reverse this because there are some clips that we could use to cable manage a little bit better. Go ahead and do this. Come on, line up. I don't like how that's not locking as solidly as I'd like. It's because there are little lock pins, but this one seems to be worn. That's okay. So what we're going to do is take, as I said, we've got these little clips that are here that'll help cable manage this. And fuck, now I got to look to see how I did that. I don't remember which one I did. Okay, I used my striped line as positive. And so what we'll do, I said, remember, green is our negative. That's our positive on yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and do that and fold it over like so. This is not ideal. I said, guys, this is not the way to do this, but considering the options that I have available to me right this moment, this is what I'm doing. Just taking, god damn, you're really in my way. I'm left-handed, guys, and so I'm kind of at a weird disadvantage here to try to get this going. So again, this is janky as all get out, but what it will allow me to do is at a later point, I will be able to undo this and use the factory harness. In fact, honestly, I should just go get some of the clips and do it right this first time, but here we are. Okay, so there we go. That should be good. We're going to go ahead and put the door card back on. Well, we're going to try to. We actually need to address something, and we talked about that at the beginning. You know what, before we even try, here's what we need to do, and this is going to be a piece of shit. So you got to pull these guys out, because if we're going to press fit the door back on and push the panels back in, then we got to pull these out, because as I said, if you look over here, you could hypothetically lift up on the door and they'll just drop out. I have never successfully been able to get that to work. So we're going to go ahead and stop the video now. I'm going to pull these out right here and go ahead and reattach them to the door card, and then we'll push the door card back on. So let's go ahead and stop the video. We'll come back. All right, cool. So we got the clips back on the door card. We're going to go ahead and just reinstall the door card. We're going to plug in our electrical connectors. These are our windows, and then our mirrors. This is not conducive for someone who's left-handed. Okay, got it in. We'll pull our tweeter out of the way. And we set roughly right there. Let's have a look. Perfect. Will you go ahead and put your butt up against the door? Okay. push. As said, that's just a press fit. It's back in. We will go ahead and reverse the unscrew process. Okay. Fat silver one goes in the center. Go ahead and push the clip back in. This one does not come out. It just hangs. It's got a retainer. And then our long silver one goes up top. Of note, by the way, we tested the speaker while the door card is off, because if something is wrong, you want to fix it without having to take the door card off again. Door card is back on, and we are all set. That wraps the process. As I said, this is kind of a janky procedure, but it gives us the ability to get this squared away without needing a whole lot. We're able to recycle the frame from the existing speakers. You just need a little bit of speaker wire, a Dremel, Phillips head screwdriver, maybe something to pick like pry, some soldering if you've got pigtails. If you don't, you can do it without. And the idea is that once the materials become available, I can just quickly reverse the process, use the appropriate, I don't know that I'll even need the adapters, but I can get more pigtails or make some and get that squared away properly, and so it's all set. So that resolves the speakers. I guess the other idea is that as I said, we're doing quality of life and reliability upgrades. We got the stuff that, as mentioned earlier in the video, squared away. We've got an Android Auto head unit. It does Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, the two of them. And then something else, let's actually look at this before we're going to go. It has nothing to do with the door speakers, but if you look under there, there's that black box under the driver's seat. And that is a 10-inch self-contained powered amplifier. JBL makes one, Kicker makes one, I think Sony makes one, Kenwood I think makes one. I don't actually even remember which one that one is. It's a Kicker. It's a 360 watt subwoofer. It has a remote gain adjustment for the low end itself, so you can adjust it either on that remote line or through the head unit, or a combination of both if you want to do some fine tuning. But yeah, that's the sound component of it. I mentioned earlier in my joke that what do all the Evos have in common, and that is vibration. We're going to go through and find all the various different rattle points and try to eliminate those to the best of our ability, even the headliner rattles. Given budget and time and effort, you just dynamite the whole thing, and that'll help tremendously, I think. But this does door speakers. This is how you do it if you just want to hit up your local car audio place that doesn't have adapters or whatever the case may be, and you just want to harvest the existing rings. I said, in the various different Mitsubishi/Evo forums, they talk about this. I wasn't able to find a video. This is how you do it, start to finish. All right, take care.